Hi, I'm Sabeen and I'm from Pakistan, a GNE myopathy patient. I live in Karachi.
Do you recall your initial thoughts when you received your diagnosis?
Yeah. Uh, Everything was quite sudden, actually. I was in my university and I was doing my bachelor's of business administration here in Pakistan. And I was actually diagnosed in the year 1999, way back, by Dr. Tahseen Muzaffar while he was practicing in Pakistan. So he was the one who actually guided me through, and I had multiple of tests. At that time, there was no gene testing or anything like that. So we had to go from the basics and, electromyographies, and it was quite horrific for me. But I think I was very confident and brave girl
Mm.
because I went through 3 to 5 EMGs, and two were done in Pakistan, and rest of them were in US when I actually visited Dallas. And there, the doctors declared that I have Nonaka. Actually, at that time, or still some people call it Nonaka. So it was a shock, but more of a push towards a road which had no route or map, or it was just a walk where the destination was totally unknown. And after the diagnosis, and I was confirmed that I have some muscular dystrophy. So, first of all, it was just something new that I never knew. And muscles weakness was, it wasn't that bad. But the thing that was bad was that I got to know that it was progressive and it will be more. So I felt that my life had to be reprogrammed and with some new softwares. Um, but the only problem was that I didn't know how to, what to load again. I knew that how to reformat it, but I had no clue what to load, which softwares to be put in again, which programs. But the thing is that my family was very cooperative, and they all are one of the strongest and resilient ones. So uh, they were very supportive, yet never made me think for a second that anything in my life is unachievable. So, yes, and this is the reason I made it through, and I'm living a good life in the sense that I'm very happy and I have no regrets in my life.
Wow, that's interesting that you were at the prime of your life when you got this diagnosis and you were
Hmm.
so courageous to reprogram yourself and to have such a positive outlook on your life. That's very, very courageous. I mean, many of us would become so depressed and we will go inward and so I'm very encouraged that you at that time in your life when you were going to university and you got this diagnosis and you were diagnosed by Dr. Mozafar. He's on the NDF scientific committee. That's interesting as well.
That's right. That's right. And thankfully, he was here in Pakistan. Otherwise, I don't know. Uh, this was a blessing for me, and he still holds a great value in my life. Seriously, he's a great person.
What would you say is your biggest hurdle that you have overcome with GNE myopathy?
Mm, See, uh, the people with rare disorders, with any type of rare disorders, basically have life that is a challenge in itself, right? So, with me being a GNE patient, the disease took over gradually because, I would say, in more comprehensive terms, that it's progressive. So, it takes over us very gradually. The life hits bad, but you get hit very gradually because the things go on, move very slowly, but it moves on. Or, I would say that for me, every day is still a challenge. And each day brings out new hurdles. I'm never prepared, but deal with them and embrace them to deal with it. But embrace them by the day. Each day, I just say that it's a new day and I have to take up on new challenges. So, actually, this rare disorder is not that big of a challenge. For me, the society and the people's perception of sympathizing rather than empathizing is a bigger hurdle. Sometimes you are already living in a great normal life, but people around you make sure that you're treated like you actually have some problem. See, actually the rare disorder is not that big of a problem, and it's not that bigger challenge. But for me, the bigger challenge and the bigger hurdle was the society and the people's perception of a disease that they were not very aware of, and they were in a very sympathizing tone. And I really never wanted somebody's sympathies. I really wanted people to be empathizing. But, you know, this type of society is a bigger hurdle, I suppose. And I think not for me, only for anybody else having any rare disorder and still they are managing to live a normal life. I think we do manage to live a normal life. If you see, uh, I think we don't take it too much on us. I feel what I want to do, I've got to do, and I do it. But in a very different manner and with some difficulties, but I managed to do it because it's my willpower that I do it. Uh, Sometimes you are already living a great normal life, but people around you, they make sure that they treat you like you actually have some serious illness or some serious disease.
Yeah.
Whereas it's not a serious disease. I'm sorry, it's not a disease. It's just a different type of formation of your whole genome. So inclusion is one big hurdle, I think, that I have to come across and overcome every time. And another hurdle that I faced, that was in my child's good upbringing. I literally had to cross big barriers in nurturing and instilling few characteristics in him. And because you are handicapped, everyone tries to overshadow you if you're a handicap, you know.
Yes.
So but I know better about myself and my abilities, and that's how I moved on. And my son is now above 15, and I have always been very resilient and very conscious about how I teach my son and how I bring him, into the self awareness and this conscious world here.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then my son was very cooperative. My spouse was always has been cooperative, but now, as my son is a grown up child, I feel that he is more attuned to my, you know, abilities and what I can do and what I can't do. So he's more aware of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's important that the people around us, you know, have the confidence in what we can do and are in our physical abilities. And
exactly.
it seems like in Pakistan, you felt stigmatized about your
Definitely.
disease. Are you able
Yeah,
to
because
go out freely and, visit some places or do some things you want to do over
see,
in Pakistan?
in Pakistan, I will not say that it's totally wheelchair friendly country, but there are not many wheelchair accessible places, but still, uh, as I told you, that if I have to do something, I will do it by any means. So even at my home, there are stairs, and I'm at first floor. So I don't care if I have to go out and I have nobody, my husband or my son with me. I will call two men from downstairs, and they will lift me on my wheelchair and take me down, you know, uh, and I'll go.
I
So
admire your determination, Sabine, to deal with this disease. It's
this
very
is actually very important for people like us. If we don't have determination, we could be very restricted or limited. But I think I shouldn't be limiting myself for anything. Uh,
absolutely.
why should I,
Yeah,
you
you're
know?
right. You're right. We shouldn't limit ourselves.
That
So
was that has always been my main objective throughout after I was diagnosed and up till this date. Believe me, I don't want anybody to tell me that, see, this is not possible and it can't happen. You can't go. And if somebody tells me that I can't go, then I make sure that I go.
yeah, wow, more power to you. Great.
Thank you.
That Yeah, I like that spirit of yours. What if there's a cure? How would this change your life?
Yeah, I always used to think that it will change a lot of things in my life. A lot. As I told you, the people will, I think, start taking me differently, first of all. But uh, at this age of mine and at this point of time, now people's thought doesn't really matter to me. The thing that will change the most is my own daily routine and daily life, how I manage. I think if I manage something in an hour or 2 hours, I'll be able to manage that in within 15 minutes. It's the matter of time, and it's a matter of moving around easily. I think uh, the worst part of our disease is that we are becoming dependent to somebody else, and I think it's to 2020, and with this new age and new decade, everybody will accept that the world is very fast. It's moving fast. People do not have time, and it's not about that others will not care about us, but we need to be independent and like others are. So I would really, I don't know how will I react if there is a cure, and would I be able to believe it? Sometimes I think that I will be very different. I mean, I won't be able to believe it or take it very seriously. It's been so long that I've been in the thoughts that maybe someday the cure will come, but it seems a bit, fantasy for me.
Yeah, well, the good
So,
thing is, we have a couple institutions working on a cure, and we have all these, renowned researchers, and the Neuromuscular Disease Foundation is funding all these researchers to find us a cure. And
yeah,
I think,
that's so amazing.
I'm very hopeful something will happen soon. Sabine, I want to thank you very much for graciously giving us an insight into what it is like living with GNE myopathy. And I also want to thank our many listeners who have been listening to our podcast. To learn more about GNE myopathy, please visit us at curehibm.org.